Madhyamaka Nikaya, the Middle Discourses. 18 Madhupiṇḍika Sutta, the Honeyball, Part 1, 2. 1. Thus have I heard. On one occasion the Blessed One was living in the Sikyan country at Kapilavatthu in Nagrata's park. 2. Then, when it was morning, the Blessed One dressed, and taking his bowl and outer robe, went into Kapilavatthu for alms. When he had wandered for alms in Kapilavatthu and had returned from his alms round, after his meal he went to the great wood for the day's abiding, and entering the great wood, sat down at the root of a bilva sapling for the day's abiding. 3. Dandapani the Sikyan, while walking and wandering for exercise, also went to the great wood, and when he had entered the great wood, he went to the bilva sapling where the Blessed One was and exchanged greetings with him. When this courteous and amiable talk was finished, he stood at one side leaning on his stick and asked the Blessed One, "What does the recluse assert? What does he proclaim?" 4. Friend, I assert and proclaim my teaching in such a way that one does not quarrel with anyone in the world with its gods, its maras, and its brahmas. In this generation with its recluses and brahmins, its princes and its people. In such a way that perceptions no more underlie that Brahmin who abides detached from sensual pleasures, without perplexity, shorn of worry, free from craving for any kind of being. 5. When this was said, Dandapani the Sikyan shook his head, 109 wagged his tongue, and raised his eyebrows until his forehead was puckered in 3 lines. Then he departed, leaning on his stick. 6. Then, when it was evening, the Blessed One rose from meditation and went to Nagrata's park, where he sat down on a seat made ready for him and told the bhikkhus what had taken place. Then a certain bhikkhu asked the Blessed One. 7. But, Venerable Sir, how does the Blessed One assert and proclaim his teaching in such a way that he does not quarrel with anyone in the world with its gods, its maras, and its brahmas? In this generation with its recluses and brahmins, its princes and its people? And, Venerable Sir, how is it that perceptions no more underlie the Blessed One, that Brahmin who abides detached from sensual pleasures, without perplexity, shorn of worry, free from craving for any kind of being? 8. But who, as to the source through which perceptions and notions born of mental proliferation beset a man, if nothing is found there to delight in, welcome and hold to, this is the end of the underlying tendency to lust, of the underlying tendency to aversion, 110 of the underlying tendency to views, of the underlying tendency to doubt, of the underlying tendency to conceit, of the underlying tendency to desire for being, of the underlying tendency to ignorance. This is the end of resorting to rods and weapons, of quarrels, brawls, disputes, recrimination, malicious words, and false speech. Here these evil and wholesome states cease without remainder. 9. That is what the Blessed One said. Having said this, the Sublime One rose from his seat and went into his dwelling. 10. Then, soon after the Blessed One had gone, the bhikkhus considered. Now, friends, the Blessed One has risen from his seat and gone into his dwelling after giving a summary and brief without expounding the detailed meaning. Now he will expound this in detail? Then they considered, the Venerable Kaccāna is praised by the teacher and esteemed by his wise companions in the holy life. He is capable of expounding the detailed meaning. Suppose we went to him and asked him the meaning of this. 11. Then the bhikkhus went to the Venerable Kaccāna and exchanged greetings with him. When this courteous and amiable talk was finished, they sat down to one side and told him what had taken place, 111, adding, "Let the Venerable Kaccāna expound it to us." 12. The Venerable Kaccāna replied, Friends, it is as though a man needing heartwood, seeking heartwood, wandering in search of heartwood, thought that heartwood should be sought for among the branches and leaves of a great tree standing possessed of heartwood, after he had passed over the root and the trunk. And so it is with you, venerable sirs, that you think that I should be asked about the meaning of this, after you pass the Blessed One by when you were face to face with the teacher. For knowing, the Blessed One knows. Seeing, he sees. He is vision, he is knowledge, he is the Dhamma, he is the Holy One. He is the sayer, the proclaimer, the elucidator of meaning, the giver of the deathless, the Lord of the Dhamma, the Tathagata. That was the time when you should have asked the Blessed One the meaning. As he told you, so you should have remembered it. 13. Surely, friend Kaccāna, knowing, the Blessed One knows. Seeing, he sees. He is vision. The Tathagata.